This is a tutorial for the school's administrator on navigating through Virtual Classroom. So what's important here is that you've got your own dedicated menu button for Virtual Classroom. You can add a new course, you can look at the summary of all your different subjects, topics and lessons loaded. This is the preview page you're on currently, and your Virtual Classroom calendar, which lists all the calendars, events and lessons within the calendar. And then the settings page. The settings page basically lets you show or hide lessons in the future. So if you don't want parents looking at lessons in the future, you literally turn it off and apply the changes. So let's go back to the beginning and add a new subject. So these are the subjects that you've loaded. You would need to have preloaded these already before in the subject section. So this is the subjects page. This is where you add new subjects and link each subject to a teacher or a class. Once that's done, you would go in and click Add New. You'd select your subject. For example, let's click on Maths. You can select your class that you want to link it to. And then you can choose between a vertical or horizontal layout. Let's just click on the default one. The subject outline would be the outline of that subject for the year. So just to give a brief explanation to the parents and the students of what will be covered in that subject. These two links below are for your subject resources. So this is where you would upload a textbook or a handbook for that subject for the year. Once you've loaded this, you would click Continue. So now you've loaded the subject Maths, and the next step would be to load the topic. So click Add New. You can click on Geometry as a topic, for example. And then you've got a lesson. So every single subject, you've got a subject has a topic, and every topic has a lesson. And you'd have multiple lessons within each topic, and you could have multiple topics within each lesson, so within each subject. So let's click on Add New Lesson. Now here, if you click on the topic, your geometry topic that you've added on the previous section would preload. You may have multiple topics here. The lesson title may be Circles, and then you've got your 1, 2, 3 boxes over here. Now these are all optional. You may only want to choose or type in one box. That would, if you left the 2 boxes empty, for example, those would be hidden from the parent. So you may just want to put something in the content box. Your suggested resources for this specific lesson may be referring to chapter 12 on page 34 of a handbook. And then you've got the ability to upload PDFs or JPEGs linking to external website or embedding a video for the lesson. There's also a little video here on how to embed a video. A very important step is to allocate a date and a time to the lesson, because this will then feed into the parent's virtual calendar. You can allocate how long the lesson will take the parent or the student. And the last step is you can allocate a Zoom meeting. So you'd log into Zoom, you'd create the meeting, and that is where you'd paste the Zoom ID and password. And then lastly, just select a date that you'd like the parent or the student to log in and view that Zoom meeting. Okay. So now I've added geometry, I've added circles. You'll now see that it's offline, which means it's not visible to the parents because I'm busy working on it. But once you're happy with it, you literally click on Publish Subject. Now that's visible. So if I go into the preview button, there's that subject I've just loaded. If I wanted to edit it, I can edit the subject part of it, I can edit the topic part, or I can just go back and edit the lesson. Click the pencil icon, I can type in anything I want, and then just click Save. Moving on to the Virtual Classroom calendar, the parents, the teachers, and yourself all have access to this. You can click on Science and Condensation, for example, on the 21st, and that is what the parents are going to see. They're going to see everything that you've added with any images and any videos that you've embedded. The parents also have the ability to mark a lesson as complete and to upload their child's or their work that they've done for that lesson, and the teacher can then send a comment to the student or the parent or leave an audio clip for them. Only teachers have that ability. One more thing I'd like to show you is that if you've created a lesson and you'd like to duplicate that to another class, so this has been, if you had to, example, create multiple lessons here, instead of having to redo them all again, you literally click on the duplicate button. Now I might want to duplicate that example for the sharks class. Okay, it's offline, don't forget to publish it. There we go. Okay, so I hope that you found that useful. If you've got any questions, please email support@childscloud.co.za.